Hello, my students. I thought I'd help you to have a reference for each of these four typical market graphs. In the situations that we see, typically, we only have one shift, either a shift in demand or a shift in supply. I'll talk in another video about how you think about whether it's a demand or supply issue. But in the case where we find a shift in demand that's a decrease in demand, that's a shift to the left. And the result is a decrease in price and a decrease in the equilibrium quantity as well. In order to find then the graph that matches up with this first bit of information that I'm illustrating right here, we're looking for something that's a leftward shift. That arrow shows a shift to the right, so it can't be the one that we're looking for. This one does show a shift to the left, so it might be that one. Can't be C, might be D. So what we're looking for is a shift in the left, and we found that it needs both B and D. Now we're looking for which one is shifting demand to the left. Well, demand is the downward sloping curve. Here in B, we see that the blue line, downward sloping, is shifting to the pink line, which is also downward sloping. This is the demand shifting to the left. This one over here, that's the upward sloping red line, the supply curve that's shifting to the left. So this is not the right one for here. So the correct graph that matches up with a decrease in demand is B. We'll put it right in place there, and we see that there's a decrease in demand, the shift to the left, which leads to a lower equilibrium point. If we were to illustrate that this was the original equilibrium point and the new equilibrium point is there, which led to a lower price than what we had before. That was the high price. Here's the lower price. And here we had a quantity, it was fairly large, let's say 1,000, and now it's been dropped down to 800, or something less than 1,000. A decrease in price and a decrease in quantity. Now let's do the rest. We've already figured out that D is a decrease in supply. So let's find that where there's a supply shift, it's going to be one of these, and the supply shift that's a decrease is this middle one. So we're going to move this wrong graph out of the way over here temporarily. And we're going to get the correct graph, and we're going to move this over to here. There it is, supply shift decreasing to the left, causing a price increase. If we were to illustrate that, we used to have the equilibrium point right there. Now the equilibrium point has moved due to a decrease in supply. Decreases in supply move the price up to a higher level. It's an increase in supply, and they move the supply curve shift has caused the quantity being sold to be less than it used to be. So that's why we have both a quantity decrease. Well, the last two are, of course, a demand shift to the increase and a supply shift to the increase. Both of them are shifts to the right. We just have to figure out which one of these graphs is the one that is shifting the supply curve and which one is shifting the demand curve. We know that the demand curve is the downward sloping one, and A illustrates the correct one for that. So we'll put that in place here, and we'll pick up this one and put it in its correct spot. And now we have the words associated correctly with the graphs. Thank you.